let's cross now to parliamentary sketch writer Quentin Letts, who joins us now. Quentin, thank you so much for joining us. What do you make of all that? I mean, presumably, Boris Johnson and Nadine Dorries no longer being in the House of Commons is going to make your job an awful lot harder, isn't it?
Oh, well, the good Lord provideth always. There'll be some more along. This is for drama. Simply on drama, this is like the Heseltine resignation in 1986, because although David Davis is right in that it's not entirely unexpected, the way in which it's happened was very newsy. I mean, this came out of nowhere. So that's exciting for us politicos. But I think the public watching may think it's all a bit dissolute and disreputable. And that will be a problem for the Conservatives. There is more axe grinding here going on than you would get at a convention of lumberjacks. And even some of it maybe just being seen from David Davis himself. Everyone's got an agenda at Westminster. And a lot of the stuff that's been going around about Boris's conduct, particularly with Harriet Harman's committee, very, very political. And I suspect that the public will look at it and think, well, yeah, it's been a stitch-up. Boris behaved badly, but everyone else is behaving badly too. So that's my initial reaction to this.
What do you think what do you think this means for the Prime Minister? Is this damaging for the Prime Minister? That there's this sort of huge row going on and sort of pro-Boris and anti-Boris sort of tensions and factions, or is it good for the Prime Minister that sort of the presence of Boris Johnson on the back benches is now no longer there?
Short term, it's bad for the government and it's bad for politics as well. My goodness, the political elite has no idea how badly it is doing, how boring it is, how bossy it is, how completely remote from most people's lives it is. But short term, I think this is very bad for Rishi Sunak. I suspect that both by-elections will be won by the Labour Party. And it also creates an idea of chaos, which is everything that Sunak has been trying to get away from. Since Sunak became Prime Minister, his main thrust has been to impose calm over everything, not least the House of Commons, which has been getting very little business through. So Sunak will, short-term, be damaged. Long-term, I suspect that he may be better off without Boris Johnson there. It's going to allow him about a year, I suspect, to have an open sea, as much as you ever get in politics, in which to establish himself as the Prime Minister, rather than as an excuse for a Prime Minister because the real one is on the back benches. So short-term, disastrous for Tories. Longer term, maybe not quite so bad, but there is that thing about how Boris Johnson had a sort of cut through with the public. He interested people in politics who would not normally vote. He electrified people. Very few, even you two, I fear, can match that sort of electricity when it comes to the voters.
Just very, very quickly, Quentin, if you can. We all know that journalists know more about what's going on in Parliament than MPs do. So have you any idea? There was speculation last night that there were another couple of MPs that might resign, pro-Boris MPs who might resign the seats. Have you any idea who those might be?
I'm the last person to ask about these sort of things. I am a sketch writer. I would hazard a guess that poor little Alok Sharma must be feeling a bit bruised at the moment. But he doesn't strike me as quite as compulsive a character as some of those around Boris Johnson. Boris did choose people he chose some really subgrade people. And I think I really don't approve of this business of people quitting a parliament when they've been elected to a parliament. I think they should serve that parliament. There's a sort of contract with the voters, a sacred contract that they are going to do public duty for those people. And I think it just makes politics look selfish and personality driven and me,